Effective communication has benefits for you other than just being able to communicate with individuals or being able to achieve your goals with working with other people. Whatever those goals may be, they have benefits for you as an individual, outcomes that I didn't necessarily knew were going to come about when I realized I needed to improve my ability to communicate. I needed to improve my ability to communicate to be more effective. When I became a leader of a team, I didn't want my inability to be effective with others to impact my team. So that was a significant motivating factor for me. Not to mention that in certain personal conversations and personal relationships, I definitely failed to connect in a way that was meaningful and that helped me to maintain a healthy relationship. These are some of the challenges that I faced in the past and kind of the reason for pursuing effective communication skills. Now, some of the benefits, having worked on this for a number of years now, I would say probably about 6 to 8 at a minimum, is a couple things, 3 things in particular. The first of which is just an increase in confidence. I believe that increase in confidence comes from a number of different factors, but I would say that the number of conversations that you have that ultimately you feel went well and went positively and you achieved what you wanted to starts to stack up a lot of evidence in your corner that says, hey, I can do this, and hey, maybe this isn't as hard as I thought it was. And thinking back in the day of understanding or doubting myself, I've been able to overcome that. I don't think that there's very many conversations that I go into without thinking that it's going to be okay on the other side. I would say that there's definitely still anxiety, but ultimately, one of the biggest realizations is that it is less outcome dependent than you think. And sitting in a conversation and conveying yourself in a clear, direct, and accurate way is really most of the battle and really a significant portion of what communication is about. The next thing that I would say that I definitely picked up is an increase in conviction. I think I was always a very passionate person. I had very strong beliefs, but I think that's just increased even further because I think it comes with a lot of validation. You're putting yourself out there and you're putting your perspective and your beliefs and the way that you see things out into the world. And depending upon how that goes, the amount of challenge that you receive or the amount of acceptance that you receive, I think that could tell you a lot. I wouldn't say that I take this acceptance blindly, but when you can communicate in a way that says, hey, this is how I see it, and this is how this can be viewed, that's a very powerful frame or a very powerful approach. And learning the ability to put a problem or be on the same side of a problem as someone else really disarms the tension of a conversation and makes them easier to have. So ultimately, having to or choosing to communicate my perspectives and my beliefs in various different forms really helps me to understand myself better. And you could look at this as a couple different ways. I think that starting to journal is communicating with yourself, and then articulating those ideas to others and those perspectives in order to address problems that you see day to day instead of living in a world full of problems. It reinforces kind of what you see, or it invalidates or opposes what you see, and you get to make improvements in a much faster fashion. You're not just stuck in your head in a vacuum in a world in which you can persist living exactly the way that you think, because the opportunity to change those thoughts and be more useful is present all the time when you voice them, when you get them out into the world and understand, yeah, this makes sense, or no, it doesn't. It's a very empowering feeling once you start to get those things in alignment. with the people around you and within the environments that you choose to be a part of. It's not saying that it's right. It's just saying that it works and that it's effective. And I think that's a very big takeaway as well. It's not necessarily about being right. It's about making progress, moving forward. And I think that's a big factor in life. And lastly, I would say that it's definitely increased my curiosity. I think my curiosity has evolved throughout life. And I think that curiosity is important for a couple different reasons. I think curiosity enables growth. And if you're not growing, you're dying. I think curiosity enables learning in the same vein as growth. It makes you go chase information and chase the truth and chase evidence to either support or refute what you believe, which increases your conviction and increases your ability to articulate who you are, not only to others, but to yourself. You gain such a better understanding of who you are and what you believe and what you agree with out in the world and what you don't, and how you see things. It gives you a strength and a confidence in who you are. I think that there's a key factor that helps you establish a strong sense of self. I read this the other day in a Stoicism book that I've been studying, and I would say it's three factors that could give a couple tips to work on. One is self-awareness, one is self-examination, and one is self-determination. This means, like, self-awareness, we have an understanding of who we are and how we fit into the world. We're very understanding of exactly the way that we would be perceived. Like, it's not just who we think we are in our head, but what does the world see? Are we conveying ourselves authentically and truly to who we are? Or is there some sort of perception, and in the way that we behave, we're kind of communicating a different message? Self-examination is being very critical of yourself. It's taking a look at, once you can evaluate and be self-aware, it's taking a look at that and understanding, okay, these things are good, or these things are the way I want to be, and these things are not the way I want to be, and striving to be the person that you want to be. Having more character and more defined virtues, and being able to support your beliefs reasonably and with objective evidence, which increases your conviction. And then self-determination, making your decisions and taking control of your destiny. I think these three things are absolutely paramount to establishing a strong sense of self, and give you a foundation in which to begin communicating in a much stronger fashion. I think it is an admirable thing to be able to be direct and clear and accurate with your communications, and it's very well received on the other side, or it maximizes the chance that it's very well received on the other side. Now, what goes into your message is a little bit different, but this is how you send a message, how you communicate with the world, and therefore how you present yourself. These are a couple of key benefits that I've seen. Again, just in summary, it's an increase in confidence, an increase in my conviction and my beliefs, my perspective, and an increase in curiosity. So if you don't, I messed it up tonight. You can't lose if you don't quit. There we go. Got it. Thanks, guys.